This review contains spoilers. We are starting the episode with Johnny's son Robbie, who pretends to work at a tech shop and steals a laptop. He meets with his friends and checks out if there is a buyer for the laptop. Then he finds a Cobra Kai flyer. We then jump to Johnny, who gets wasted, and we see a couple flashbacks of him bringing Miguel home after he got beaten up by Kyla and his friends. He sees a LaRusso billboard and trades cans with a guy who sprays graffiti on posters. In the next morning, we see Daniel making breakfast for his kids. He makes Sam's favorite pancakes, but she's still pissed because she got embarrassed by Daniel at the dancing and leaves without speaking with him. On the way to work, he speaks with his wife on the phone and sees the billboard, which got sprayed on with a huge robin in his mouth. Daniel then talks to the police about the robin and gets interrupted by his wife. Then he decides to paint over the robin. In school, Sam talks with Aisha, who gets bullied by everyone. After Aisha left, Kyla shows up and talks about the date they will have tonight. Back to Daniel's car dealer shop, and he got a delivery from his competitor Cole, 100 sausages, because of the robin. He gets a call from his workers who paint over the robin. Later, Daniel has a meeting with marketing people and they show him an advert from Cole. Cole kind of copied Daniel's advertising and made it more American. Daniel leaves angry his shop to visit Cole's and to talk about his disagreements. Cole makes fun of Daniel, and after a Robin joke, Daniel kicks his cup out of his hand and leaves proud Cole's shop. We are then with Sam and Kyla at the cinema. Kyla tries to make moves on her, but Sam is obviously irritated. She tells him that she saw what he did to Miguel and his friends, and Kyla tries to excuse it with they are all just friends and just messing around. Kyla attempts again to make out with her. Since he does not accept a stop it, she made him stop and leaves. Meanwhile, with Miguel and his mother forbids Miguel to go to the dojo. Miguel defends Johnny. Then we have a cut to Johnny, who gets awoken from a call from Robbie's vice principal. He then leaves the apartment where Miguel was waiting for him. Miguel tries to talk with Johnny about more training lessons, but Johnny cuts him off and tells him that he will close the dojo for good. At Robbie's place, Johnny comes in and has an argument with Robbie. Meanwhile, is Miguel talking with his friends in school? They get interrupted by Kyla. He is a Robin to them. Later, following the argument with Robbie, Johnny finds his ex-wife in a bar. He tells her that he would take care of Robbie, but Shannon tells him that he is too late for this. Johnny is then in a restaurant eating something. He notices a father with his son. We cut then to Johnny speaking with Miguel's mom, and he promised her that he won't fail him again. On the next day in the morning, Daniel talks with his wife. Sam comes down and joins the breakfast club. Daniel asks if she wants to invite Kyla again, but she tells him that she broke up with him. Happy family together again! After Daniel arrives at his workplace, his staff shows him the flyer they found on the billboard with the robin. In the meantime, Johnny packs his stuff up at his dojo. He hears the door. Miguel comes in and tells him that his mom allows him to train again. Johnny will teach him the best defense. So, what did I think? Let's review it. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. The best around. So Miguel is talking with his friends. Kyler joins them because he's a Robin. He then takes away the backpack from Dimitri and throws it into the trash can. Before Kyler does it though, Dimitri tells him that he threw a yogurt in there. How much yogurt did he throw away to have the backpack soaked in like this? And the next thing would be Ralph Macchio's acting when it comes to facial expressions. It was not as confusing as in episode 2 after he talked with Johnny the first time in the Cobra Kai dojo, but it was very noticeable. But I think everything else, what he does, is pretty okay. What I also had a problem with was the marketing guys showing Daniel the advert Cole made and added, but don't tell him you saw it. This scene does only exist so Daniel does have a reason to confront Cole. That seems again an unnecessary coincidence just to continue the story lazily. The last thing on the bad things list is Dimitri asks what is the best superpower anyone could have. Miguel answers it with super strength. Dimitri says it's wrong, it is invisibility or super speed as a second candidate. But he's also dead wrong. The right answer is invulnerability. Case closed. So now to the stuff I liked. The graffiti part. You have these 4 posters on the wall, very close together, so you cannot spray at the wall, just to be safe. And you know, if someone is extremely good with making awesome graffiti, if they do a heart like this on the screen right now. And I also like it because on the other walls is nothing. And I think it's kind of charming because you see the production value and the thinking behind this. The next thing I liked was the complete confrontation scene with Cole. First, Cole humiliated Daniel in front of his stuff, which reminds me of a similar scene when Daniel did this with Johnny. Then Cole offers him a boba. I think boba. Daniel offers Johnny a bonsai, and Daniel disrespects the car of Cole by kicking the drink out of his hand all over the car. Miguel gets thrown against Johnny's car, and this is the very reason for Johnny to intervene in the first place. And Daniel feels after this pretty good, like Johnny felt good after kicking some butts and do the karate thing again. Maybe I interpret too much in this scene, but I really liked it because of these similarities. And the kick. Oh my gosh, the kick. Which was kind of lame, but they tried to make it look cool. Which is like the graffiti part. Totally charming, and it's surely pretty difficult to make the kick like this in pants like this. And now to the best part of this episode. Johnny's arc. We start with Johnny getting wasted because the guilt is too much to bear. Then he wakes up lying on the floor, again on his deepest point. Then pushing away what hurts and where his responsibility lies or could lie. Then the confrontation with his son Robbie. His pathetic try to tell Robbie not to throw his life away as he did. And the best part is both sides make sense in their behavior. Robbie, who hasn't have a father, then Johnny shows up, is insulting and thinks he can play father now. I ask myself if he was dealing with this problem because he knew Robbie would reject him, or if he really means it and want to have the best for Robbie, especially after he was talking with his ex-wife and suggest that Robbie could stay with him. And she had good arguments against Johnny's proposal. and he didn't defend himself for this accusation she made, so he wasn't there at all. I can imagine that this was a punch to Johnny's gut. And then the restaurant scene. He watches a father with his son having quality time, and it is heartwarming to see Johnny moved by this, especially after what we have seen with his ex-wife and with his son, and with Miguel as well, because Miguel needs him as much as he needs Miguel. And this leads to the monologue to Miguel's mom. And he said what his ex said: there are no do-overs, so there is so much regret in it. And I can also imagine how hard this kind of thing is to admit to himself. And even more to tell it to somebody else, especially after all the hits he had to take before. A really great emotional moment with the potential to grow as a person for Johnny. On the next day, he picks up his stuff at the dojo, because why should she allow it anyway? And the surprise for him that Miguel's mother allows it, that he can still visit the dojo and train. And so the training continues. And that was my review of episode 4. What did you think about this episode? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new and not subscribed. Please do it immediately. And have a nice one. You take care. See ya.